Hello and welcome. Throughout these next 5-7 minutes, I'm going to give you a rundown of some of my history, some of my reflections as I've looked back at myself over the last 2 or 3 years, and really kind of taking you through my leadership journey as to where I have been and as to where I am now today. So sit back, enjoy, and hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Hello. So, here I am now. I'm behind the door. I'm the Northscott Assistant Hall Director. Before I got here, it all started in high school at the International Career Development Conference in 2007 when I took my first leadership journey down to Orlando, Florida, where I learned a lot about different leadership types, styles, and so forth. And there I am in the bottom right, just rocking out. But currently, where I'm at now is much different than where I was. And this is right here a picture of where my leadership style used to be at the beginning of this program. And as we can see, through lots of transitions and reflections, it's changed. And here's what it is now. I started as a CA here, community advisor on campus in 2009. I hung out with residents and I enjoyed what I did. So I decided to take the next step, pursue a master's degree here in the Educational Leadership Program. My name is Dylan Brame. I'm 25 years old and I don't know my next step, but it's gonna be somewhere in Wisconsin. So smile for that. I want to become a residence hall director. That's my goal. I've enjoyed what I've done these last 2 years, serving in Northscott, working with my staff members, and it's put me to a place where I'm always happy. From the time I entered the Educational Leadership Program until now, I feel I've changed immensely in the way I interpret those around me. Now I look around and try to balance my own leadership style with those I work with, mentor, or hang out with. As I reflect, I would call myself a servant leader, someone who's willing to step up and help those underneath them to help them get to where they need to be. Another big difference I've had is my ability to be comfortable public speaking. I've grown much in this realm, doing several different public speakings and classes for my internship, at a banquet, and so forth. In relation to theories, I find myself most frequently pursuing the idea of self-authorship, a student development theory by Keegan and Magola, which theorizes that each student is responsible for their own lives, and they are the authors of their own lives. And my responsibility is to help them get to that point in their life where they can make a change and become their own authors of their own story. Another practice I've been trying to theorize with and use the theory of is by Malcolm Knowles and his idea of andragogy and adult learning, and focusing more on how we as adults can teach other adults or young adults for best use practices going forward, and how they can adapt to the environment around them and how it's actually applicable to themselves and their own lives. In comparing my old leadership philosophy to my new one, my old one stated this: in terms of traits that I want to be remembered by, I want people to say that I care about my employees and that I'm willing to listen, implement new ideas, and I want workers to feel as if they actually have some control in their position and they feel as they're treated very well, and almost like I treat them like a volunteer. A mindset that I couldn't do the job without them. And most importantly, I want everyone that I have led or supervised to look back and say that I made a difference in their lives. Now that still holds true to this day. My philosophy has changed a bit, however. Now my philosophy is this: I want to make all those around me who I lead or manage begin to think about their own leadership styles and think about how they're perceived and how they can take feedback and how they can apply what was just said going forward into their life. Most importantly, I want them to ask why. Why is this important? Why should I take feedback? Why should I reflect? Why should I care about how I show up to a presentation? And why is whatever I'm doing necessary. One way in which I've embodied this philosophy is to be really reflective at the end of each day, reviewing all of what I did, how it occurred, and how it went. And most importantly, am I happy with the results? And do I need to change my approach going forward? I spend a great deal of time reflecting on conduct cases and thinking about if our adjudication process was done correctly, if the students learned anything from it, and where we went wrong, or where they went wrong. When I reflect on my program goals, I'll start with one talking point that was envisioning an opportunity for improvement. I initially had written in 701 that I was open to the idea of change. And what I've found over these last couple of years is I'm actually not open to it at all. Unless we have the data to prove that something needs to be changed, there's absolutely no reason to change things. That's my opinion, at least. My second goal is to focus on how I could better those around me as leaders, how I get them more involved. And I believe I've done this through my last 2 years here, whether in Hull government, in Reeve, with my staff, whatever it might be. I've felt that I've been able to push them and help them along in their careers and get them to where they want to be and advocate on their behalf. Which leads to my third program goal, which is advocating for students. And I feel like I've been able to do that through addressing inappropriate language and challenging people's beliefs. My final goal was to use more data within my job and life. You can check that box. Through our MapWorks collection of data, we've been able to analyze 97% of our Hall for the first semester, 92% for second, and I've been able to use EBI and StrengthsQuest, much like I did for my project, to really analyze the results and see where we've gone wrong, what we can do better, and how we can improve our program. And it's been great to actually be able to quantify that data. My most valuable growth has been my takeaway from a philosophical perspective from this program. All these classes have challenged me in my beliefs, my philosophies, and forced me to broaden my vision, to see other people's viewpoints, and ultimately give me a more solidified foundation of where I am going forward. For my future, here are my goals. In 3 to 5 years, I'd hope that I'd be a hall director at some place in Wisconsin. In 10 years, I haven't the vaguest idea. And in 20 years, good luck. I am not driven by money, and I'm not steering for my dreams, because my dreams will change and my car will eventually run out of gas. And when it does, all that will be left is what was in my heart. So here's to this. As long as my attitude stays positive, as long as I'm helping people out and doing what I love doing, which is volunteering my time and being able to make a change in people's lives, I'll be happy. And as long as my friends are there and my family and any people that I've met within this student affairs department or within the education and leadership department, my life will have meaning and I will have belonging. And that to me is the biggest and most important piece and takeaway from this entire program, is learning that like a student that I was as an undergrad, finding my sense of belonging, I've found my sense of belonging in student affairs. And so I want to continue to pursue that through any endeavor that might occur. Currently, I'm still in the job search. I'm in between interviews right now, so hopefully at some point soon, I will find where I'm going to be. But for now, I want you all to know that each of you has touched my life in some way through this program, and I want to thank each of you for that. And our relationships are the most valuable type of currency there is, and that is something we can all truly cherish and treasure.